Now we are going to discuss today about the sliding friction and rolling friction. In our previous class, we already discussed about the what is friction, and then we discussed about kinetic friction and static friction. Now we are going to discuss in today's session about the sliding friction and rolling friction. Okay. See, generally, sliding an object such as cylinder is moving more difficult than rolling it. Is it? When we used to like pull or push the cylinder, it is more difficult to rolling it. The frictional force offered when sliding an object is called as sliding friction. Okay. If suppose here we have any object. Okay, suppose here we have any object, and if we are pulling that object, okay, so here between that object and earth we have friction. If it is in moving condition, okay, we are going to slide that object. Okay, so during that time, if friction working between object and the earth or any surface is called as sliding friction. The friction force offered when sliding object, okay, that means when object is sliding and the force acting between them is called as sliding friction. Suppose most of the time what happens, small children, they usually like slide on the slider. Is it? So when any object is sliding from here, okay, and the friction working between the sliding object and that surface is called as sliding friction. I hope you understood what is sliding friction is. For example, a box sliding on the surface. Suppose we have one example here. Suppose one box we have, and if it is sliding on that surface, the frictional force offered when, okay, it is done. So when this object is sliding on the surface and the friction working between them is called as sliding friction. Okay. So now we are going to discuss about the rolling friction. The friction force offered when rolling an object. Okay, suppose any object, suppose here we have the wheel. Okay, here we have the wheel and it is rolling on the surface. Okay, like when you used to be child, so you used to roll the small wheels, okay, on the ground. So that object is nothing but the rolling object. It is rolling in this direction like this. Okay, and during rolling of the object, okay, so it apply the force on the surface, then that friction is called as rolling friction. Rolling friction. Okay, so here we have sliding, that one is sliding and that one is rolling friction. For example, a ball is rolling on the surface, so after like running some, like after moving some distance, it will stop automatically. Okay, first its speed is going to reduce and then will stop. So it is due to the rolling friction working between them. So here we can say these are nothing but the types of kinetic friction. They are nothing but the types of kinetic friction. Kinetic friction. Okay, so kinetic friction are two types. Number one we have sliding and number two we have rolling friction. Understood everyone, or any doubt you have here?
Sir, how this sliding and rolling friction comes under kinetic friction?
Kinetic friction, not kinetic, it is like kinetic. Oh yeah, kinetic friction. See, kinetic means any object which is in moving condition. It may be slide, it may be rolling. Is it or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So these are nothing but the types of kinetic friction. Okay, because here the sliding object is again in moving condition and that rolling object again is in moving condition, but it is like rolling. And if any child is sliding on that surface, it is not rolling, no, it is sliding. Is it or not? So all two objects, like whether they are sliding or rolling, they are in moving condition. If they are in moving, so it is the kinetic. And friction working between them is called as kinetic friction, and it is of two types. One is sliding and other is rolling friction. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. See here. here we have the wheel in all the like three diagram here. Okay, in the bag, in the shopping cart, even in that carrying cart. Okay, here all the wheels are there. So it is, so they are rolling on the surface. So they are applying rolling friction. But if suppose you are pushing any object, suppose here we have the object, here we have the surface, and if you are pushing that object, so it is the sliding friction because it is going to slide on the surface. Is it? Is it? Okay.
Sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Yes, wait a second. Huh?